It's going to be a powerhouse of wisdom, featuring interviews with thought leaders, industry experts, and extraordinary individuals, leaving you inspired with actionable insights, practical tips you can implement right away.
He was almost clear finally that he wants to do medicine, but he doesn't want to be a physician like his mother. He wants to be a surgeon. He said, I'm a surgeon material. So I think that should be kind of way they should be finally getting into it.
This was really helpful. I'm sure the parents would love to hear it. Another thing I wanted to ask from the parents' perspective is what do you think could be those early signs where, as a parent, you could be a guiding force for your child to not really decide, but at least to tell them, that this is something that you might want to go ahead and test the waters. But the flip side is today, as compared to, let's say, 1970s or 1980s parents, when, you know, today's parent a little more 2 cents richer in terms of being comfortable with money wise. And that's why this is the flip side I'm saying, because they're letting their kids go ahead and, probably only try it out or test it out. But could be a possibility they're also wasting 2 3 years of the child's most important years of their career. And do you think that probably may not work in favor of the child? So if those early signs, if it can help us, that will really help.
Right. So again, early signs probably start coming when they are in around seventh, eighth standard. That what are the subjects generally they have the aptitude for. Sometimes it happens, of course, it depends upon again what is the culture at home, or maybe how are the teachers. Like sometimes the child is really impressed by the teacher, because I initially was thinking, in addition to medicine, that if I don't do medicine, I want to do mathematics, because probably that was my father doing, and I used to like my maths teacher very much in school.
Okay.
So that sometimes can happen. But then the parents really have to go ahead, and here, at least in India, the trouble is that the parents feel that I wanted to be a doctor, I couldn't. Now I have money, my child has to become a doctor. And they
Mhm.
start pushing that on their child. They don't see any signs what the child is wanting to do or child is able to do. So maybe the intelligent child also is not able to do that part of the science, or he does not like it. So that is not sometimes taken into consideration. So first thing I would tell the parents, that it's not important what you want your child to be, it's more important what your child really would finally like to be or to do. So that is the first thing. So that is the first thing the parents have to think about. And then the
Right.
second thing, of course, go ahead, be with the child, and so many things outside there. It should not be, again, I feel, going to tuitions and then just rutting the things there. Instead of that, the child does things on his own and the parents are with him, which has happened probably with us, and kind of thing which happened with my children also. And that helps you more, because then the child starts doing whatever he likes more, and then you take him ahead. And there are, of course, now even the tests available to find out at least the aptitude of that child, and probably that also helps you. There are psychologists available to really tell you that what really the child can do. It's not that exactly the decision will be right, but then at least you get some path to go ahead, so the parents can take that help also.
This is an interesting point you're talking about, especially about the aptitude. So
Mm.
it's aptitude and IQ are we talking about? Do
Yeah.
you think these psychometric tests or aptitude tests that are available in the market at the moment do really the justice?
All of
Or
them no. All of them no.
right, hmm,
Not at all. Not at all. Some of them are just the commercial things. They should
right,
not be accepted. Yeah.
right,
They also should not get continuously affected by the peers, because sometimes that peer pressure is so much that just because my friend is going to do this, I want to do it. That should not be there. That parents again have to tell them that you two are friends, but then you can do two different things.
right. How focused a child needs to be. They have so many distractions these days externally. They have phones all the time in their hands. I mean, it's the world in their hands at this point in time. So, how disciplined and how, well, it's very easy to say that you need to put your phone away and stuff. But if they want to really inculcate that habit of being serious and disciplined, what could be those, um, from your perspective, if you can help the children, what can really help them to do certain things and certain things that they should not be doing?
I think all this starts right from the beginning.
Right.
Now at the age of 1 year the child gets mobile in his hand, and the parents they should start their work of discipline the child, especially for these gadgets, that time itself. Because 1 year old child sometimes is brought to my clinic with a tablet in his hand. Birthday, the child has got that tablet,
Yeah.
and then the child starts really from that, and then the parents are so happy that only 1 year old child, but he's able to handle it so well. So there itself you should be very careful, and the parents have to know what should be the control there. So if the parents start having control, then the child really learns how to handle it. I must tell you, I have a grandson now. He is 10 years of age, but he is so disciplined about this just because of his parents. Because they have done this work so well right from the beginning. So they slowly, as they get disciplined, of course, as you said, you cannot take it out of their hand. But once they know that I have to control myself, they start doing it. They do it properly. That okay, only when I have my working days, I have my school, I will be doing this only for 30 minutes, and whatever. Like they have to have their time management to be done. There are so many useful things, of course, which are available. As you are now, of course, doing these podcasts, which are so useful to them. My grandson Abhimanyu, he is so fond of Spotify and for all the podcasts he listens to, and he's become so knowledgeable. I'm going to, of course, refer this your link also to him now.
Sure.
So we see that how positively you can use it, and then of course so many of my patients also I can see. So the work starts for the parents right in the beginning, and I think the child definitely becomes disciplined.
Right. I'm going to come back to something important from the student perspective now. Um, which subjects, according to you, we all know it's going to be biology when it comes to medicine, but what elements do you think, of mathematics, physics, and chemistry also play an important role, although they're going for medicine? Shouldn't be the case that only they're doing biology all the time. That's not going to help. I'm sure there are elements that will come in play. It could be, and there would be various branches. Is something I also would want to hear from you. What are the various branches in medicine available for anybody who wants to pursue medicine per se?
Yeah. So, in fact, all the subjects are important. As you said, of course, physics, chemistry, mathematics, everything is important, even if you are, of course, the biology also. So, even if you have decided to go for medicine, because now, suppose when you are doing medicine, you have to understand the pharmacology, you have to understand the physiology, and then our body is chemical, it's the chemical body, of course. And there are so many physics things you have to understand the working and the metabolism of our body. And of course, as you're asking about the branches, the main branches are, you really be just the medicine person, that means you are a physician, or in being a physician also, now there are super specialties which will be available of each system. So you are a cardiologist, you are a neurologist, you are a pulmonologist, you are a gastroenterologist, nephrologist. So each system has the super specialty available. This is about being a physician. So, and then when you become a surgeon, so in surgery also, again, all these systems will have the surgical branches. Out of that, now I'm experiencing when Ameya, my younger son, has done his ophthalmology, he needs so much of physics there, because ophthalmology needs so many instruments, especially he has to work with those instruments only, otherwise he cannot do his work. And then each instrument has so much of physics involved in it, and I can see the way he understands that physics, and he has taken ophthalmology just because he loves physics, and he loves to be with those instruments and the gadgets, in addition to doing biology and being with the patients. So that helps him to work very well, because small little eye, and there are so many things in each micromillimeter in that eye which they have to work on, and then each instrument will have work to do on that little area. So there definitely you need physics so much. Same thing with ENT, ear nose throat branch, and chemistry, of course, everywhere it is required, because you have to know the biochemistry, the how the body is working, and you have to do the pharmacology, how the medicines are doing. So all the subjects are important, and your languages are also important, of course. Anywhere, any it's with the patient also, because you have to be a good doctor, means you have your knowledge, of course, should be good, but you have to be a good human being, and you need to know the communication very well. And for the communication, language plays such important part. So if you know any languages, that really helps. So in my sessions with the children, I always tell them that never feel that you need to learn four languages in school. In fact, that really prepares the area in the brain where the language area is so well stimulated that anytime later, if you go to some other country for your work, for medicine also, of course, you can pick up that language so fast, and then you can do your work more effectively, probably.
Do you remember your first surgery, or do you remember your first day in one of those labs of anatomy where you saw the dead body the first time? What was your experience and how was the feeling?
Yeah, I very much remember my anatomy. That was my first experience, of course. So, yeah, anatomy for us, it's not the full body given usually. So, our first thing started with the upper limb. So, that was the arms were kept on all the tables. And then
Wow.
we were divided into the group of eight students. And then each one of us got that. So, that was shocking. But then I think our, what to say, we were given the proper introduction about everything. Still, of course, some of the girls did faint. Looking at that, I was really pretty sure that I won't do that. Only thing I never liked the smell, the formalin smell. That was all, and it took a little while to really, even if we were wearing gloves, but still to touch it and really start dissecting it. That was a difficult job to start with, and very fortunately, I had a friend on my table who had already decided that he wants to do surgery later in life. So mainly he was the one who started cutting and doing the dissection for us. So that was great.
The reason I'm asking this question because, as you said, I'm sure there are students who may faint looking at that, but I think it might really help right from the beginning mentally that this is coming your way and this is
Correct.
not something that you need to be scared of. This is going to
Yeah.
be a part of your study. You simply, the human body, anatomy is obviously going to be a part of your study. Just read it as a textbook, uh, but nothing to really scare about it because that's what you're going to go ahead and deal with going forward.
It's
So,
mainly not getting scared about it.
yeah,
Generally, students feel dirty about it.
okay,
So
okay,
it's that. But
right.
anyway, you get used to it, and finally, you know that, yes, as you said, that this is what is so important for me, so I have to do it. So you start learning properly.
Right. Um, Something personal I wanted to know, what kind of hobbies do you have and how do you still go ahead and balance them?
Yeah. So, of course, I love doing exercise for mainly the fitness, and then my hobby now has become running marathons. So that's kind of my first hobby, and running marathons mainly for fitness as well as uh, go to different places. So
One quick question is I have, what is the education difference between India and any other country, for example, US or UK for that matter, as far as the early MBBS is concerned? Did you see any difference or?
my younger son did his MBBS in India, and he did his post graduation also in India. He did in fact one study in Cornea only. That was the exam from London.
Okay.
But the main studies he has done in India. My elder son, he did his engineering here, and while he was doing his MBA and PhD from IIM Calcutta. So then for postdoctorate, he went to Boston. That was
Okay.
the thing. Maybe
Yeah.
he was there. He was there, and of course, we always felt that India education is good. No doubt about it. We do get good education, and we do get to do a lot of hard work. But I think working conditions so many times, as well as the approach to studies is definitely different outside India. So you have to get the experience of that.